Hi, everybody. It's May 29th, and welcome to Women's Health. I just wanted to go over a few items with you. The first is the assignments and the big assignment, which is these approved topics and genres. Since some people have dropped the class, we're only going to have one large discussion group with 12 to 13 people in it. On this chart are your topics that you've been approved to do, and the genre are over on the right. And then some of you still need to identify a population. And the reason why this is important is that your message, your genre, what the information you're making is for a specific group of people. So, for example, Jane has postpartum maternal health for African American women, and she's going to create a social media or web page. Because she's addressing African American women, what she posts on her webpage should be addressing them directly. It's not about African American women, it's to African American women. And that goes for any of the people who still need to choose a population. If you choose to address politicians, then your whatever it is that you're creating will be geared towards them. If you're gearing it towards healthcare professionals, then it will be geared towards them. If you're working with a specific population like white teens, Hispanic, rural women, African American urban elders, whatever it is you're working on, whatever you create must be for them. So the brochure or infographic must be to a population, not about a population. Web pages, slide presentations, whatever it is you've been approved to do must be geared to that population. It's information to that population, not to us about that population. The next item that I wanted to talk about, let's go back to content, is the actual project itself, because I want you to start to think about the project. All the assignments that we're doing are helping you get ready for this assignment. So in the assignment, you're going to have a short paper, which we can talk about later. But the artifact here, no matter what you're using, no matter what your genre, you must cover the same topics. See if I can make that a little bit bigger. Yes, I can. All right. So everyone must describe the disease or condition, and that includes epidemiology, pathophysiology, treatments, and preventions. You have to show who's affected by the condition and what groups of women are at most risk. Hopefully, your genre is geared towards one of those risk populations or geared towards a group of people who can help address it. Then you must address the historical, legal, and policy issues related to your topic. And then you must address at least 3 of the 5 social determinants of health. Some of you might have a lot of legal information or a lot of historical information, and some of you may only have a little bit, depending on what the condition is. Everyone will have some type of epidemiological, patho, treatment, and prevention information, but again, depending on your topic, it's really going to dictate what it is that's in your artifact or the item that you're creating, your genre. So that is the artifact. That's what you've been approved to do: brochure, social media page, podcast, etc. The short paper we can talk about a little bit later, and by short I do mean short. It's 1/2 to 1.5 pages, and it will have a reference list. And we'll talk about that a little later in the semester as we get closer. So the other thing to look at is the content. Just to go through all of this, we are in the introduction. The introduction has a lot of reading in it simply because we're getting a lot of historical information. I don't expect you to read everything, but if you look at the directions, the introduction to the course you should have already done. When we look at the history, there are slides on women's health. There is the history of women as healers, and there are the Sims book, Father of Gynecology. So you have 3 items that you're going to be reading. One is the Witches, Midwives, and Nurses book It's fewer than 50 pages. You read that entire book. Sims, we're reading his exact information out of his notes. You do not read that whole thing, it's crazy. But you'll read a portion of it, and it tells you how many pages you should read. And the other item that is reading material here is The Witch's Hammer. Again, you're not going to read the entire book, but you'll choose something, and then you're going to use those things in your discussion boards. So let's look at the discussion board for this unit. I will finish grading your introductions today or tomorrow. In the Unit 1, at the end of Unit 1, your first post is due the second, your second post is due the third. It asks you to tell your population, your topic, and the format you're using. It asks you to talk about leading health indicators and social determinants of health. And then it asks you to talk a little bit about witches, midwives, and nurses. It asks you to talk about Malleus Maleficarum, which is the witch's hammer. And it asks you to talk about Dr. Sims. Post 2, you're going to respond to 5 people in your group. And it tells you how to have a good response, a strong response, so you get the most points. So every unit is set up the same way. Every unit has content that we cover. Every unit has a discussion board. Every unit has some online assignments. And every unit has a reflection. And so they're all set up the same way. Please reach out if you have questions. If you send me a message in Blackboard, if you want to send me a message, please click both of these, send an email, and allow me to reply to your message. If you send it to me in an email and this one is not clicked, I cannot respond to you in email. I will not respond to you till I get into your Blackboard page again. I personally would prefer that you just send me an email, but if you want to do it within Blackboard, please allow me to reply to your message and send it to me as an email copy. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing you present your work all semester. Everything we do is geared towards helping you prepare for your final project. And actually, the topics that you've chosen are very exciting. The genres you've chosen are exciting. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you this semester. Have a great week, and I'll drop another message in here later in the week.